Hiya folks, you are very welcome along to this week's episode of John's Garage. This week we're again driving a brand new car. This time it's in the form of the Peugeot 308, and this particular one is coming in 1.5 litre HDi flavour with an 8-speed automatic gearbox. Now, just to point out, the 8-speed automatic gearbox is standard in right-hand drive markets in the UK and Ireland. There is no manual, okay? Now, what else is this car available in? Well, it's also available in a 1.2 litre turbocharged petrol. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid, which comes in two flavours. Both are GT models. One is in the lower model, which is 180 horsepower, and that's a plug-in hybrid. The other one is a GT model only, and that particular one comes with 225 brake horsepower, okay? Also, I'm going to grab my only note that I'm going to use for this particular test drive. The Allure spec, just to know, comes in 1.2 petrol, and that is available from €36,665 if you were ordering the standard colour. Next up is the 1.5 diesel in Allure spec, which comes at €38,000, and then you have the plug-in hybrid at 180 horsepower, which comes in at 42,275. And my god, the weather has turned nasty. But anyway, it's these May showers that we seem to be getting in June for some reason. Anyway, the base colour is actually gorgeous. It's the olive green, so I'd highly recommend you go with the base colour. Normally I would go for something a little bit nicer, but in this case the 308 looks beautiful. Now, I've been really excited to get my hands on one of these cars, okay? So I'm really delighted that Andrew and the team in Slattery's Garage in Peugeot, that's slatterysgarage.ie, if you want to check out their website. This car arrived in today. They rang me, said, John, you've been asking me about this for ages. Do you want to come down and film it and test drive it and do what you want to do? And I said, yes, thank you so much. Now, there's a couple of reasons I've been excited about this particular car. Number one, not one picture that I have seen in any press release or pre-publicity material has been silver or grey. Thank God. There's other colours out there, cars come in other colours. This car looks brilliant in vibrant colours. I'm currently driving a blue one. There's the olive green, as I said, and there's loads of other colours available on the Peugeot range, and they're always stand out and gorgeous. Please, I understand why silver is popular. I know why it's popular, but my God, other colours are available, folks. Please start ordering them. Now, next up, why else was I interested in this particular car? Because for me, this one really does mark a return to Peugeots of old. What I mean by that is attainable cars that across all the range have great handling, and this one does. So this is a 1.5 litre diesel. It's putting out about 130 horsepower, but in my opinion, none of that matters, okay? None of it matters because it handles great. The chassis in this is really well set up. It soaks up the bumps, but it gives you loads and loads of fun in the corners. And as I say, you don't have to go fast to actually find this car entertaining. It's entertaining at any speed. Also, you have this steering wheel, which is like it's something out of a go-kart. It's nice and small, gives a really sharp little turn, nice and responsive. Now, some people don't like the fact that it's not circular, others don't like the fact that it's a bit small. I personally love it. I think straight away when you sit in, you touch that steering wheel, you know you're driving something different. It's also set up pretty well, okay? Now, in terms of the automatic gearbox, okay, some things I like and some things I don't like. The gearbox itself, no issues with it. I absolutely think it's a gorgeous gearbox. You can put on a sport mode using this button here. And hello cyclists, I'll give you a bit of space. If you put on the sport mode, it sharpens everything up. It sharpens up the steering, sharpens up the throttle response. It also encourages the car to hold gear a little bit longer. It actually really makes this thing come alive, so to speak. And bear in mind, I'm talking about a regular family hatchback here. I'm not talking about a sports car. In normal mode, it also dulls things down, but there's also an eco mode if you're thinking about the price of diesel and petrol at the minute, which is... Don't even talk to me, folks. Don't even talk to me. It's astronomical. But anyway, what else have we got? So I did say there was something about the gearbox which annoys me. And it's not that there's anything particularly wrong with it, but it's this toggle switch. I just don't like this. It's not something I'm a huge fan of. It's practical, it's fine, there's nothing wrong with it, it works. I just like a gear stick. I like to just shift the gears. That's just me. Another thing I don't like, but this isn't a criticism of any Peugeot, and this is a criticism of all these family cars that come with this same feature, which kind of, to be honest, I think it's a waste of time. But anyway, flappy paddle gearboxes. Why on earth do I want to take my family wagon and stick a flappy paddle gearbox in there? I'm not sure, but anyway, some people obviously like it. It's a selling feature. I'm going to click this up into sport mode because, my dials all go red. Even the center console here goes red. The reason I'm doing it is I know there's a little fun piece of road. Just arriving up here right now, and folks, this thing is to die for. Okay, I'm going to give you my impression of the handling. I've actually been driving this quite a bit today, and just decided now is the time to film. Bear with me, folks. I'm having fun. Okay, so speed's all legal and all that. Don't worry about that. You don't have to go fast, guys, to have fun. But what I would say here is, in my opinion, this is not anybody else's opinion, but in my opinion, this is the best handling car in its class since the Focus Mark 1. That's what I believe. And why I believe that is quite simple. All right, it's well balanced, it's soft, but it can also be very sporty. Okay, so as an all-round package, I actually think this is a cracking package. I think it's a really well balanced car, really well finished. Yeah, folks, I am going there. I am saying, in my opinion, I think it's better than anything from Germany. I think it's better than anything else that the French are currently putting out. I think it's better than the Italians right now. I think it's better than the Japanese. For me, guys, in this class, this is the best handling car, hands down. I have no problem with saying that. I'm not saying that for any other reason other than that's what I actually think. What else do I like in here? Normally, I'm a big hater of digital dials, okay? But in Peugeot's defense, they've given these huge big buttons here. They're easy to operate, okay? They're easy to see, they're easy to operate. And the other thing is, in this model, which is normally a feature of cars of higher up classes, okay, they have given you the options to edit everything. I can select what's going to be on my screen here. So right now it's a little bit fussy. It's got the radar cruise control on and stuff like that. I can remove all of that stuff, okay? I'm going to put this into Toyota mode, I'll call this. We'll stay back nice and far from the car in front, although you can select Audi mode if you'd like, okay? So you can go right up really close to the car in front for absolutely no reason if that's your thing. If you drive an Audi, you can do that. Anyway, what else have we got here? We got lots of features. We have auto wipers, we have auto lights, we have auto locking, we have auto entry. Now, what I mean by auto locking and auto entry is your keys stay in the pocket, you walk up to the car unlocks. You get out of the car, close the door, walk away, and it all locks again. So that's perfect. I love that feature. I love it in all the cars that I have it in. I think it's brilliant. Now, what else do we have? Right, we have blind spot warning as well. So normally this particular feature works within about 7 meters of the car. However, Peugeot, being safety conscious, have increased its sensitivity. Oh, actually worked there. Warn me about the Audi that snuck up behind me. Anyway, Peugeot in their infinite wisdom have actually calibrated it so that it works up to 75 meters. Okay, now you might say, oh, that's a bit sensitive, it's a bit nanny state, and I would say that if you were riding a motorcycle, you'd be damn happy of that particular safety feature working at that distance. Okay, so in fairness, I actually think that's a cracking thing. The other thing Peugeot have done, and I like this, now for most drivers you'll only do this once, but I particularly like it. You press that button there and all the different functions, the safety functions, all of them, everything appears here on the screen, and you can select whether you want it on or off, and you can do that at a whim by just pressing the button, which is brilliant. Okay, other thing I like here with the buttons is you have all your major features. Okay, let's say I want the windows defrosted, I can just press that one. If I want the rear one defrosted, that one. If I want to go directly into this screen and undo all of that because it's going to make loads of noise, I can just click a couple of buttons there, maybe turn it on because I'll get suffocate other than that. And yeah, listen, this car is absolutely jam-packed. I do also like the fact that it's a twin-spoke steering wheel. That's just something I particularly like. I think it harks back to older days, bygone era. Center console, loads of storage here. You can charge your phone up here, and there's a sticky enough pad there. Massive center bin here, which is cooled. Good size air vents. And I also love the fact that, I'm going to say a recent first for Peugeot anyway, you've got a really big practical glove box. they've removed normally in there's the fuse board, they've removed it and put it elsewhere, and you can actually put stuff in there, which is absolutely wonderful. Okay, you also have the new Peugeot logo. I know some people have found it a little bit controversial. However, if I was parked up, I could click into a couple of different things here, and I can actually select that all the different logos that Peugeots used to have in bygone years can actually show up, and it's really, really cool. Another thing I can do here on the screen, I'm not going to do it right now while I'm driving, but another thing you can do here on the screen, which I think is an absolutely brilliant idea, is you can play videos. Now, what I mean by videos of the different features and functions that exist on this car. So, for example, if I didn't know how lane departure warning worked, okay, I can click this, okay, it won't work when I'm driving for safety reasons, which I suppose is a pretty good feature, but I can just click in there, 2 or 3 buttons, and in comes up a video which explains all the different features, how it works, why it works, and so on and so forth, which I think is absolutely wonderful, especially for different generations of drivers who maybe aren't used to that. Somebody keeps talking there in the back, so I know this is going to turn them down. So it goes through all that. So if you're of a certain generation and you're not familiar with all these different toys, and you don't want to be ringing your son, ma'am, all of the time asking, John, how does this work? I get those calls. You can just go in and play the video and do it yourself, and that keeps everybody happy. Everybody's got their independence, and everybody knows how all this different stuff works. As I say, you can declutter the center console here as well, the binnacle, all right, of all the different functions, and just show up what you want. That includes a full-size sat nav, so you can put that up here as well, or you can just have the next direction showing up, and so on and so forth. But as I said, this car's cracking looking, all right. Now, one other thing I'm going to go through with you. I have mentioned safety. I've talked a lot about safety. I got to experience firsthand just how good the safety features on this particular car are, because I had a BMW come around on a different road, on the wrong side of the road, and they were fairly moving. Fortunately, I managed to stand on the brakes, car kept its composure, no problem, and there was absolutely no issue, no drama from my side. Will say that the person driving the other car looked a very unhealthy shade of white as they went past me, but that would have been their problem because they're on the wrong side of the road. But anyway, all I'm saying is everything works in this car. It pulled up very steady, it was no problem, everything worked. 1 or 2 little beeps there in the dashboard to warn me that there was an imminent collision coming, but anyway, it all worked, it was all good, so I was happy enough with that. So, you know, real world testing, that's what I'm about. Now, also want to add in case anybody's saying, John's garage, you're moving away now from the classic cars and you started there. I'm going nowhere away from classic cars, okay? The deal, folks, is with this channel is whatever I get offered, if I can take it. Sometimes it's, if I don't work in the motor industry or anything like that, so sometimes it's very hard for me to say to my wife with 2 kids, I'm off, I'm going to film in a car. So I take what I can. Try and keep it local if I can as well. It just helps with all of the balance, work-life balance and all that. So it isn't that I'm gone away from cars, it's just, this is just the way things suit me right now. But a couple of people have been on to me, and I do have some exciting cars coming up. And yeah, I do like to feature the new cars on the channel. Now, if you haven't subscribed, why not? Hit that subscribe button, okay? Anyway, also, one last thing I need to add in here is a huge big thank you to Slattery's Garage in Puckane. 50 years selling the Peugeot brand, okay? Huge experience in all things Peugeot, across all the different generations, across all the different models, and they are award-winning dealership, okay, of Gowan Motors. So Gowan Motors is the distributor for Peugeot in Ireland and all the Stellantis products, and they're doing massive work. They really are bigging up things, in fairness to them. And yeah, I don't know, folks, whether you found this in any way interesting. I'm not trying to get into consumer advice or anything like that, because who the hell am I to give advice? But listen, I hope you enjoyed the drive. I've been really looking forward to getting my hands on this car, just as a complete motor enthusiast. I always think back to Peugeot of the 80s. I think back to the likes of the 309, the 306. I think the handling of those cars was brilliant. It didn't matter what engine they had. They were just gorgeous cars to drive. This is the same. That's what I feel from this. I feel that this particular car has gotten back to Peugeot's roots. It's really, really nice to drive. It's really, really fast. And it's a really cracking car. I really like it. Okay, and that's all I kind of wanted to say. I hope you enjoyed coming along in this test drive with me. Learn a little bit about the new 308. And yeah, if you're in the market for a car like this, folks, as I said, in my opinion, this is the best car in its class. Okay, best handling, best looks, best color range, loads of features in here. and lots of comfort and lots of reliability and a good warranty and backup and all that. So if you're out shopping for a new car, couldn't recommend it highly enough. All right, that's my opinion. I don't care if anybody else has that opinion, but that's my words, Lynn. All right, so listen, thank you all very much for joining me on this particular episode, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.